Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Election Day 2022 is finally here with many polls opening in about an hour.
Plus, why some controversial political signs are raising some concern in Brewer.
And a water main break causes some big problems at Bangor's YMCA. We'll tell you all about that, too.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
I'm Craig Colson. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today is Election Day. It looks like we're going to have a pretty nice day for it, too. Polls opening here in Bangor in about an hour, elsewhere within the next couple of hours. So hopefully everybody can get out there and cast your vote today. You'll have great weather for it, too.
I know, so if you got to wait outside in a line, it'll be fine. Let's get a first check of that forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday and happy Election Day. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs, carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. All righty, here we are. We have wind advisories in effect here, and that's across the northern parts of the state. This will last until 5 p.m. this evening. Further down toward the south, gale warnings in effect for everybody until 7 p.m. later this evening. There's another little shade right about in here, though, and now right there is a small craft advisory closer to shore. But either way, it'll be very windy today. Some gusts up to 40 miles per hour at times with that front that has now passed through. But the good news to report is everything else is looking pretty quiet. Just a few passing clouds today. So we're going to go with the partly cloudy language for it today as this cold front has now moved away, which is helping to stir up the ocean. But for us, just a few passing clouds and some gusty winds, and that'll be about it. Will be partly cloudy today. Will become mostly clear later on tonight. The winds later on tonight and parts of tomorrow will finally begin to back off. So overall, the weather, set aside the wind, looking pretty nice moving forward. So here's that wind. Sustained winds possibly up to 20 miles per hour in a few areas at times, but gradually backing off as we head towards your Wednesday morning. Your forecast for today on this Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. Northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, plenty of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. Well, Election Day 2022 is upon us, an historic election that will determine which party will have control in Washington.
There are also several big offices up for grabs here in Maine, including governor and Congress. According to the Secretary of State's office, there has been no shortage of enthusiasm. More than 200,000 Mainers have already returned their absentee ballots, and many have taken part in early voting.
You'll get your chance, too, when polls open in your community. In Bangor, voting gets underway at the Cross Center at 7 o'clock this morning and will continue until 8 o'clock tonight. Many other communities also opening either at 7 or 8 o'clock. Maine will once again use ranked choice voting to select candidates for some of the major offices. It is a practice considered controversial by some, but supporters say it's a way to select candidates wanted by the greatest number of people.
A race to watch closely today will be the race for Maine's 2nd congressional district. Republican Bruce Poliquin won the popular vote the last time he faced Congressman Jared Golden, but Golden won the race because of ranked choice voting. A.J. Douglas took to the streets to see what Mainers think.
Back in 2016, voters approved ranked choice voting for elections through a citizen-initiated referendum. The political practice only applies to primary, federal, and congressional races, but is not being used in traditional pick-one elections, such as governor, county, or state legislature elections.
With ranked choice voting, you get to choose not only your first choice, but your second choice as well, like your backup choice. And there's no wrong way to pick your favorite and potentially your second favorite candidate on the ranked choice voting ballot.
Ranked choice voting tabulation begins in the event that no candidate receives 50% or more of the voting majority.
First and second place candidates retain their original first choice votes. They don't lose any votes. Those ballots are then reallocated to the 2 remaining candidates based on voter preference. And with that, someone will receive a clear majority of 50% or more.
A few shared their thoughts on if it's a fair practice for elections throughout the state.
Oh, I certainly do.
I think ranked choice voting makes a lot of sense. It allows for nuance and it allows for you to have your choice, your voice and your choices heard more effectively.
I'm mixed on that. There are times when I think it it is, and I know other parts of the country are looking at it. There are other times I feel like we should just use the straight numbers.
For Tuesday's election, ranked choice voting will only be applied if there isn't a 50% or more majority in the Paula Quinn-Golden race. Back in 2018, Congressman Jared Golden was elected through this political practice. In Bangor, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
There are two candidates running for state senator to represent the city of Bangor and the town of Herman. Incumbent Joe Baldacci and newcomer Suzette Farreau are running for the District 9 Senate seat for Bangor and Herman. Each candidate has certain areas they would like to focus on should voters elect them to the Maine State Senate.
But we have to do more on a number of different fronts: healthcare, prescription drugs, seniors, housing. So there's a lot we can do, but there's a lot we have accomplished.
I think we need to remove a lot of regulation on the small businesses to help them because they were severely hurt during the pandemic, and support the local businesses rather than the corporations.
Voters will get to weigh in on that Senate race and many other key decisions when polls open today for in-person voting.
Well, Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating an incident that injured an East Millinocket police officer. Last night, officers responded to the scene of a service call. An officer that was on their way reportedly lost control and hydroplaned. The cruiser rolled over. The officer was transported to a local hospital with minor injuries and later released.
The Portland Police Department is issuing a silver alert for 21-year-old Samuel Magisha of Portland. He was last seen leaving his Auburn Street apartment on Friday, November 4th at about 8 a.m. He's known to walk to his uncle's house on Kenneth Street in Westbrook, but he has not shown up there. Magisha was last seen wearing a khaki-colored hooded sweatshirt, khaki pants, and brown leather dress shoes. He's 5'11" and 200 pounds with black hair, brown eyes, and a short chin beard.
A water main break caused some big headaches at Bangor's YMCA, cutting off its water completely on Monday morning. Despite the water main break, the fitness center and weight room remained open. However, members were not allowed to access the locker rooms or restrooms. In addition, the early childhood and on-site after-school programs, group fitness classes, and pools were all closed for the day. Even with the closure, this did not discourage members from working up a sweat.
The workouts is great as always. You just can't use the water, and bathrooms aren't functioning right now, so you have to plan ahead and not use those services when you're here.
Bangor YMCA hope to have the issue fixed by the end of the day.
The University of Maine kicked off its Veterans Week events yesterday. The week-long celebration commenced with a flag-raising ceremony to honor local veterans, followed by a student veteran barbecue on campus. The events are organized by the Office of Veterans Education and Transition Services to honor the university's student veteran population.
I think it's probably the highlight of our Veterans Week, where people get to come by, eat some food, and say thank you.
Today we raise the flag, we come together, but it's really it's an object lesson that we need to pay attention, we need to be aware, and we need to be engaged.
You can visit UMaine's website to learn more about Veterans Week events.
Nice that they did that today. Well, the other big story this morning, of course, is the big lunar eclipse that's going on outside right now.
I know. If you look out your window, I mean, it's very clear. If we were to step outside, we could see it right over there. So if we can we pull up footage of that?
No, we don't have the live footage. We're working on that. ABC has a live feed of it, so every now and then it zooms in and out.
We'll check in with the recording later, so if you stay tuned, we'll have it either way.
If you want to see it, just walk outside on your back porch, look up.
That's a major pro.
It's kind of neat.
And I believe I've seen some places, this is the only time in U.S. history we've had a full lunar eclipse on an election day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a blood moon, too.
Right.
Some people think maybe an omen. I don't know.
Ooh.
We'll see. Anyway, time now, 6:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a Brewer resident has erected political signs containing some foul language. And some neighbors aren't happy about it.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast.
Well, there you go.
Sunny and windy, highs of around 48 degrees today, dropping down to about 25 degrees tonight. Quite chilly, more chilly than we've seen lately. Clear is going to continue on tonight into tomorrow, where tomorrow is very similar to today. High of 48, mostly sun in the sky.
Looking to improve or upgrade your home or place of business? With at-home furniture, appliance, and bedding, and kitchen and bath and flooring, we offer a great selection to do just that. From homeowners to commercial businesses and everything in between, our friendly professionals with more than 50 years of combined experience pride themselves in going above and beyond to work with you every step of the way. And we even offer a full-service appliance repair department. Come and visit us at our Dover Foxcroft or our new Lincoln location. Stop in either location today and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Ladies, a Maine adventure.
We got them smart wool socks for the entire family. We got PJ pants. We got lots of slippers. Get to Rennie's for all the great items.
Thank you for shopping locally. I'll take those deals.
This week, Michael Strahan journeys into the snowy frontier live, getting in close with polar bears. See how the climate crisis is changing their world. The extraordinary journey happens live this week on Good Morning America.
What's the least sexy thing your wife has ever worn in the bedroom?
Granny panties, Steve.
Don't miss Family Feud.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
My hair was orange, falling out in clumps. I was shocked. I have to cut it all off now.
But you tipped $50, thanked him, and said that this was exactly the color that you wanted.
Hot Bench. Tuesday at 3 on ABC 7.
Well, ahead of the election, we wanted to talk to Maine's two primary political parties about the changing political landscape, what their priorities are for the state, and how Maine can set the standard for bipartisanship for the rest of the country.
Well, each party was given the same questions and was able to respond without interruption. We start with our conversation with Maine Democratic Party Executive Director Bev Uhlenhake.
Bev, thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate your time and coming in.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, busy time of year for sure.
Absolutely.
So let's get right to the questions, which same questions I'll be asking the Republican Party. So the last 5 years or so have been definitely some of the most tumultuous politically in modern history. How do you think your party has changed as a result?
You know, it definitely has. I mean, we've watched democracy itself be threatened. And we've also seen lots of our own personal freedoms being taken away, particularly with the Roe decision this summer. In terms of how our party has changed, I don't think it has. I think that we are just as strong as we always were. I think these things are getting us out to vote in a different way, and definitely more active. However, in terms of who we are as a person and who we are as a party, our values are still the same, and that's that we make sure that no one gets left behind.
And that goes right into the second question. How would you define your party's agenda and priorities, specifically referencing the state of Maine? Yeah.
I think it's really obvious when you look at what's been done over the last 4 years. More than 95,000 people now have health care who didn't have it before. We have full funding for schools. We have full funding for municipal revenue sharing. These are the things that we've done to make sure things have happened. These are the ways that we take care of our state, that we lead the state, and that's what's going to continue. Our priorities are the same. We are going to make sure that the state of Maine is taken care of.
Is there a most important priority for the Dems, either now or moving forward?
I think that there are lots of priorities. I think that core value of we make sure that people's freedoms are in place, that people have the freedom to do as they choose, that people have the ability to take care of themselves. And those are things that happen when you've got full education funding, when you've got the ability to go to community college or the university system at a different level, when you've got the ability to vote and make sure that your vote is counted. Those are really, really important.
You kind of answered question number 3, but I'll ask it. Ask it anyway. How do those priorities, the priorities that you've stated for the Maine Democratic Party, how do those priorities move the state of Maine forward?
It moves individuals forward. It moves us together as a group. I think that you can also see what we've done in a bipartisan fashion over the last 4 years, and there's just some really great things that have happened. Budgets have passed with bipartisan support, full unanimous support of the budget from the Appropriations Committee. Those things are really important here in the state of Maine. We do things well together.
And speaking of bipartisanship, the last question. We have seen extreme partisanship, at times heated rhetoric, even hostility in government in recent years. Many find the national political landscape to be really daunting. How can Maine's political parties set a better example, at least at the state level, and how specifically will Maine Democrats work to do that?
So I think that you can see that we've already done it in some of the ways that we talked about already. You can also see it just in the state of Maine and how we're set up. In the last year or 2 years, we've had the bipartisan commission to redistrict. And we've done that in a way in the state of Maine. And I was lucky to be a part of that in a way that that is really one of the most bipartisan fashions across the country. The people can walk away from that process and feel like they're going to be represented by someone that represents them and their district, and that it's not done on a partisan level. Those are the kinds of things the state of Maine does. Those are the kind of things the Democratic Party in the state of Maine absolutely supports, in addition to a lot of the other things. When you look at the housing bill that was put through last year, when you look at the budget bills that were put through last year, these are all things that we make sure that we do together, and we do with the support of the entire state.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
I am so proud of our candidates that we've had this year and how they've run such a positive race. And I will say that generally I think that that's the case across the state and across the parties, and including the independents. The state of Maine should be really proud. When you look at things happening across the country and you look at the state of Maine, I think that we do a really fine job of working together. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Bev. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
And now here's our conversation with Maine GOP Executive Director Jason Savage.
Jason, thanks so much for your time and for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Alrighty, so our first question. The last 5 years or so have certainly been some of the most tumultuous politically in modern history. How has your party changed as a result?
Well, you know, one of the things that I really think about as far as our party over the last few years is that we've grown to have a much greater focus on working people in this state and across the country, and how every little thing that happens in Washington, D.C. or Augusta changes their lives, and how we can do things to try to make that better. And before, I feel like the party was just sort of looking at everything from sort of a big picture, what's the GDP, what's the unemployment rate kind of perspective.
Okay. How would you define now your party's agenda and priorities, specifically then pertaining to the state of Maine?
In this election and where we are right now, we're looking at, you know, the cost of living, inflation, making sure families can afford to put food on the table, buy their kids a winter coat, you know, and do the basics. And then how do we go beyond that and really advance prosperity so that people can get ahead, put some money in the savings, you know, go on that vacation and enjoy life, because we're not here to just survive. We should be looking to find ways to help the people of the state of Maine thrive.
Are you able to narrow it down to one specific priority? Like if you had to name the most important priority for the Maine GOP?
The most important priority at this exact moment in time is the cost of living, specifically the cost that people are facing with their electricity bills, their grocery prices, and heating their homes.
So keeping those priorities and that agenda in mind, how then does that agenda move the state of Maine forward?
Well, you can't move the state of Maine forward unless we do something about that. The energy and costs in our economy are the driver of everything that we do. When diesel prices go up, food goes up, everything else you buy goes up. When your electricity bill goes up, you have less money to spend on other things. Employers can't hire and grow when energy costs more. So we have to get all of that under control if we want to move Maine forward. You know, before COVID, before the state got shut down, the economy in Maine was doing quite well, and we have to get ourselves to the point where we're there and we're jumping off into a bigger, brighter, more prosperous future.
And our last question. We've seen extreme partisanship, at times heated rhetoric, and even hostility in government in recent years. Many find the political landscape, at least nationally, to be daunting. How can Maine's political parties set a better example, at least at the state level, and how specifically will the Maine GOP do that?
That's a really good question, but there's a piece of that that's missing.
Okay.
Our form of government is set up so that there is debate and argument about issues. That kind of debate and argument about issues is critical to actually doing the best we can. What the problem is people should be able to argue and tell each other they're wrong and then decide on what the best compromise is. And what we have right now at the national level is everybody disagrees and then walks away and does nothing. I believe that we can do better in that regard by making a commitment to be at the table to find the solution, even when when both sides are telling the other side that they're wrong. And then, our commitment is always going to be, and I feel especially in the last few years, always going to be show up and do the best you can for the people of the state of Maine every day.
Okay, and I pose this to the Democrats as well, so I'll ask you, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I would add that I sincerely hope for the future of the state of Maine that this election goes in favor of Republicans, and not only will we keep our word in doing the things that we say that we're going to do, but we will on day one start working to earn the trust of the people so that they will leave us in that position to do good for them in the future.
All right, Jason, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right.
We appreciate both of them coming in and sharing their thoughts with us. The time now is 6:21. Coming up after the break, we'll hear from residents of Brewer who are upset over their neighbor's use of a yard sign.
Plus, we'll get behind the scenes with the Maine Cabin Masters crew. All of this and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
Gun Sports and Brewer knows that for fun, exercise, and meeting new friends, nothing is better than ice skating. Whether it's sailing down the ice, making a great pass, and scoring in a game of hockey, or the grace, strength, and expression of figure skating. From the youngest child all the way to adulthood, anyone can enjoy the fun of skating. At Gun Sports, we supply the equipment for your skating fun for great prices, the proper fit, and service after the sale. Shop your locally owned Gun Sports Shop, Greenpoint Road in Brewer.
Don't cry, don't whine. Get yours where I got mine. At BB's Tattoo Company, 262 Moosehead Trail, Newport.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. A resident on Chamberlain Street in Brewer is displaying controversial political signs that are making many residents unhappy. Matthew Dronsick has more on the story and a warning to parents. The images in this story may be inappropriate for young viewers.
Sadness for one thing, sadness for my country, sadness that the neighborhood has to deal with it, sadness that children aren't protected from that kind of just vile, uncivil behavior.
Members of Chamberlain Street and the community are at their wits' end with the political banners they go by every day.
I wonder why they put so many around, and I can't wait for them to take them away.
Beside 113 Chamberlain Street are explicit signs about the president, Trump 2024 and Let's Go Brandon signs, and even one with President Biden's face inside the iconic Looney Tunes ending.
There are also signs that are obscene, which I find very offensive. And knowing that there are children in the area, I do believe that's an embarrassment to the neighborhood.
While some in the neighborhood wants the residents to take down the signs, others like Norman Gardner don't mind it.
It doesn't bother me, but I don't understand why. Like a F word or whatever the sign on it, people will drive by, they don't get it, why is that? But I respect the people's property.
However, other residents say it's the way the message is portrayed that makes them the most upset.
I just think it's kind of too bad to do it in such a vulgar, nasty way.
It takes my breath away. It's kind of like, wow, I can't believe somebody's done this and got away with it.
We reached out to the City of Brewer's Code Enforcement Office to see if those types of signs are allowed on private property, but we did not hear anything back. Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Kind of an interesting case. I'm all for freedom of speech and displaying what you want to and that kind of thing, but sometimes it just kind of gets up to a line there, you know.
Well, I'm glad you bring this up, because in our newsroom meeting yesterday, when we were deciding whether we were going to cover the story, everybody had a different opinion on how does this constitute as free speech? Right. How on private property is, like, obviously it's allowed. Right. This is legal because it's clearly nobody. But everybody has a different opinion
and
on
sometimes
it.
At some point it comes down to good taste, too, and what we want in our communities. The thing about it, Chamberlain Street, I happen to know that area really well, and there's a lot of kids that play around there. I mean, do we want our kids exposed to that all the time?
It's a high-traffic area if you're coming from Route 9 and you get to Wilson Street from there.
Yeah.
So,
who cares what I think, but it's interesting to hear
I care what you think.
Well, thank you. It's interesting to hear what everybody else is thinking. And,
right.
You know,
it's a good conversation starter.
Yep. One thing I do know is it's going to be a beautiful day out there. I went outside this morning. It was a lot chillier than it was yesterday at the same time. So
it's
be
not
prepared for that.
Not flip-flop weather.
Good news is we have lots of sunshine for everybody heading out to boat today. Here's Devin Biggs with your forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs. Carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. Alrighty, here we are. Wind advisories are in effect until 5 p.m. across the northern parts of the state. Everywhere will be windy today. And we're also watching gale warnings in effect along the coast until 7 p.m. this evening. For this shade right about in here, there's another shade located right about in here, and now right there is also a swell crash advisory in effect. So you get the general idea. The surf will be active today, courtesy of some gusty winds. They'll reach up to around 40 miles per hour in a few areas. But otherwise, the rain on Sally, it's not looking too bad. We have a few clouds moving in from the northwest, going toward the south and east, which is trailing that cold front right now, which has now moved away and pretty much fizzled out at this point, too. We have high pressure located right about in here. So as everything moves away, things will start to calm down, especially with high pressure that'll begin to move in for the daytime tomorrow. So later on tonight and tomorrow, things will begin to calm down. Let's go on a field trip. I haven't dug these graphics out in a while. We have a subtropical storm out there. It's not fully tropical characteristics just yet, though. But that's enough that they're going to call this a Nicole with winds up to 45 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at 8 miles per hour. With a target on Florida, though, there's hurricane warnings and hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings in effect for some of these areas, though, as this thing is planning to head toward Florida. And we may need to watch the system as well, because even though it'll be on land and pretty much become extratropical by this point, there'll still be something left over as we head towards early parts of next week. So this thing will be heading toward us, so we'll need to keep an eye on this in some capacity as we get closer. But otherwise, though, back here at home, again, we have gusty winds today reaching up to 30 to 40 miles per hour at times, especially through the early afternoon period. Gradually backing off later on this evening to the overnight period. So by tomorrow, those winds will finally begin to ease up. And those wave heights very active right now, 2 to 5 feet according to some of the buoys that are reporting. But where you see this shaded color right about in here, indicating some higher surf, so the ocean is rather active out there this morning. Our average high is 49 degrees. We'll reach for the upper 40s today, not too far away from average. We'll go for above average high temperatures for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the 50s and even 60s. Sunday and Monday, we're back down into the 40s. So moving forward for today, though, a few passing clouds, that gusty northwest wind up to 40 miles per hour. Otherwise, a decent amount of sunshine as well. And overall, we're looking pretty clear overnight tonight. So overall, things looking pretty good as we do move forward for the next few days. So your forecast for today on Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. That northwest wind getting up to around 40 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 20s, mostly clear, still breezy out there. That northwest wind getting up around 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, that's right near average, mostly sunny. sunny. Northwest wind backing off to about 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop. Again, today is election day. Make sure to get out to vote. The weather will be nice. Set aside the wind. For your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. Veterans Day on Friday will be mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Mid-60s on Saturday with a chance for rain showers.
All right, thank you, Devin.
And it may be too bright now in our neck of the woods, but let's check out the live stream of the progress of the eclipse. I believe it's in Tucson, Arizona right now. So that's what it looks like on the west. Like I said, I think it's too bright over here now. I saw it not as clear as this at around 5:30 in the morning, and it was just beginning. It did look like a red blood moon. Yeah. So this is a zoomed in shot of that.
Very neat.
And we will be right back.
Ladies, a main adventure.
As you all are getting ready for Thanksgiving, we want to say thank you.
Yes, we want to thank our customers, our employees, and all our friends and family. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for shopping locally.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents, $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class, all because 83% of the time, Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You've probably seen those ads on TV with the out-of-state 800 number that look like information from Medicare. Some even suggest that your zip code will get you more benefits or even money back. You guessed it, those ads are misleading. So don't call that out-of-state 800 number when your help is right here at home. Do what I did and call the Senior Planning Center. They have trusted professionals all over Maine.
Call the Senior Planning Center at 223-6565. That's 223-6565.
Feel the difference of alpaca apparel from the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store in Belfast. Stop by their ranch location to interact with these amazing animals and enjoy the beautiful Maine outdoors with your very own alpaca walk. Shop in-store or online today and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. With their incredible selection of socks, sweaters, hats, and more, experience the unique qualities that alpaca fiber brings with the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
Make sure your money lives as long as you do. The younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. The Red Cross is sharing some important reminders as flu season gets underway. Leaders from the Northern New England American Red Cross are encouraging people to go out and get their flu vaccinations, which they say helps increase donor eligibility. When seasonal illnesses ramp up, the number of healthy donors decreases.
We're encouraging folks to come out when they're feeling well, when they're feeling healthy. There's no wait. If you've had your flu vaccine, as long as you're feeling healthy and well, you can come out and give blood.
Those interested in donating blood can find a location in their area by visiting redcross.org.
A group of friends with a shop in Manchester is shining a light on just how cool refurbishing rundown camps and cabins in Maine can be. Our Jody Hersey spoke with the stars of the show, Maine Cabin Masters, to learn more about their passion for saving these well-loved family camps.
It's really surreal, to be honest with you. It still doesn't feel real.
Ryan Eldridge, Chase and Ashley Morrill, and their friends Dixie and Jedi are the stars of the reality TV show Maine Cabin Masters. So far, over 100 episodes of the crew fixing up camps and cabins in Maine have been filmed. The show's stars, who all grew up around the Augusta area, say what you see on air is exactly how they are in their day-to-day lives.
They're filming us doing what we'd be doing with or without a film crew. So, we're constantly learning. We're constantly bouncing ideas off from each other on the job sites.
Brother and sister Chase and Ashley Morrill say they were raised in a family whose focus was to reuse, recycle, and refurbish as often as possible.
That's always kind of been the main way. It's, Yankee frugality, you know, if it still has life left to it, it doesn't necessarily be for its original intention, you know, find a way to make it work.
The Maine Cabin Masters try to avoid ever building new. Instead, they aim to show viewers how to maximize what their family cabins already have to offer.
These cabins have been in these families forever, and they don't want them changed that much, to be honest. So what we like to do is go in and, you know, just get the rot, you know, fix it up, and make it so that they can enjoy it for another 50 years.
The Maine Cabin Masters say they still enjoy working with one another all these years later, while also showing viewers some of the best parts of our state.
One of my favorite things about doing the show is showcasing all the great artists and craftsmen in the state of Maine. You know, a lot of times we can use their art either in the camps, or we actually have a retail store as well where we sell local Maine art.
In Manchester, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC7 and Fox 22.
Very neat. I love what they're doing there.
I think that's a lot of people's dreams, to kind of fix up some old camp or home somewhere in the state of Maine or New England, and we get to live vicariously through them.
Right.
Yes.
I want to camp someday.
I know. Yep.
Maybe when I grow up.
Yep. That's such a Maine thing.
Yeah.
Maybe when I grow up. Okay. You got plenty of time. And when we return, we'll check in to see the latest of what's happening in Hollywood.
Oh, I'm so young though, Emma.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll be right back.
As a medical group commander in the United States Air Force and a surgeon, I never ask my patients about their politics. It's the same in Augusta. If someone has a good idea, it doesn't matter what party they're from. That's how I passed bipartisan bills, to cut down on government paperwork to make it easier for the uninsured to access health care, remove barriers to allow small businesses to provide health insurance, and help Mainers who might be at risk of an accidental drug overdose. I'm Dr. Richard Evans, and I ask for your vote.
With my hectic life, you'd think retirement would be the last thing on my mind.
Hey, Mom, can I go play video games?
Sure.
After homework.
Thankfully, Voya provides comprehensive solutions and shows me how to get the most out of my workplace benefits.
What's the Wi-Fi password again?
Here you go.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem. Voya helps me feel like I got it all under control. Because I do.
Oh, she is good. Voya. Well planned, well invested, well protected.
Ben's Auto Body specializes in collision and corrosion repair, as well as mild restoration, always using PPG paints and refinishing. If it fits in our shop, we will fix it. Located 8 miles west of Walmart, just off Route 2 in Palmyra.
Hi, my name is Tony Ruda, founder of the Senior Planning Center. There isn't a week that goes by that we don't help some Medicare recipient in their Medicare programs and save them money. The Senior Planning Center has locations and agents throughout the state of Maine. So why would you want to call an 800 number out of state when the help is right here at home? Give us a call so we can help you save money and make your Medicare decisions.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. On this day in history, in 1935, the movie Mutiny on the Bounty, starring Clark Gable, premiered in New York. In 1889, Montana became the 41st state.
In 2000, a statewide recount began in Florida that would determine the result of the presidential race between Vice President Al Gore and Texas Governor George W. Bush. In 2011, an asteroid as big as an aircraft carrier zipped by Earth in the closest encounter with such a massive space rock in more than 3 decades.
I missed that one. I don't remember that.
I missed that too.
Yeah.
I'm just now learning this.
I'm glad I didn't know about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And today's birthdays include TV chef Gordon Ramsay, he's 56 years old, and actor Parker Posey is 54.
Also want to mention ABC News anchor David Muir is 49 years old. Congratulations, or a happy birthday to all of them. I'm sitting here trying to fix my wire. If I'm not just scratching my knee down here, if you're wondering. But anyway.
David Muir, yeah, he's awesome. I can relate to him because we both
Yeah.
He's got the eyebrows.
Yeah, I like his style.
Yes.
I just like his style.
I do too.
In general.
I do too.
Kind of grown on me over the years.
Decorum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been the word of the week.
Decorum?
I've used that word in a couple other newscasts this week.
Huh.
Oh, today's Tuesday. Oh, no.
It's Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be a long week.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the weather now. It's going to be a really nice day for people heading out. A little bit chillier this morning than you've been used to, but
the sun's still out.
Overall, really nice.
Devin has all the details.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday and happy Election Day. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs, carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. Alrighty, here we are. We have wind advisories in effect here, and that's across the northern parts of the state. This will last until 5 p.m. this evening. Further down toward the south, gale warnings in effect for everybody until 7 p.m. later this evening. There's another little shade right about in here, though, and now right there is a small craft advisory closer to shore. But either way, it'll be very windy today. Some gusts up to 40 miles per hour at times with that front that has now passed through. But the good news to report is everything else is looking pretty quiet. Just a few passing clouds today. So we're going to go with the partly cloudy language for it today as this cold front has now moved away, which is helping to stir up the ocean. But for us, just a few passing clouds and some gusty winds, and that'll be about it. We'll be partly cloudy today. Will become mostly clear later on tonight. The winds later on tonight and parts of tomorrow will finally begin to back off. So overall, the weather, set aside the wind, looking pretty nice moving forward. So here's that wind. Sustained winds possibly up to 20 miles per hour in a few areas at times, but gradually backing off as we head towards your Wednesday morning. Your forecast for today on this election day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. Northwest wind gusting up to around 40 miles per hour at times. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, plenty of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin.
A late-night TV host will return to a major award show. A Grammy and Oscar winner earns an Icon Award and more.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Murphy's Monster renewal, Richie's new honor, and Kimmel's Oscar return in the Hollywood Nation. Jimmy Kimmel will once again help celebrate Hollywood's biggest night. He will take center stage as host of the 2023 Academy Awards. This marks his third time emceeing the annual ceremony, which will air live from Hollywood's Dolby Theater March 12th. Lionel Richie will be adding more hardware to his trophy case. Fresh off the heels of his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, Richie will be honored with the Icon Award during the 2022 American Music Awards, making him the first artist to be featured on the AMA stage in every decade since the show launched. The ceremony airs live from LA's Microsoft Theater November 20th.
What are you doing there?
True crime fans and enthusiasts can expect more killer stories from Ryan Murphy. After the record-breaking success of Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Netflix has renewed Murphy's anthology series for 2 more seasons. According to the streamer, the first season has accumulated over 900 million hours viewed and is expected to reach 1 billion in the coming weeks.
Tonight, a murder will be committed.
And Daniel Craig is back on the case in today's First Looks. Netflix released the official trailer to Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, featuring Craig reprising his role as Detective Benoit Blanc. The preview follows the super sleuth on an island getaway where he is forced into action when a tech billionaire's murder mystery party turns deadly. The film opens in theaters 1 month before its streaming debut December 23rd.
For at least one person, this is not a game.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Still to come here this morning, Tyler Cruz with your latest in local sports.
Don't go away.
Ladies, a main adventure.
We've got a great deal on wigwam socks.
Buy 1, buy 2, buy 3.
And get 1 free.
Thank you for shopping locally.
Whether you're hurt by a box truck or by any commercial vehicle, you may have a big case worth big money. If you've been hurt by any commercial truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial truck, come out on top. Call the Twos.
Janet Mills? 4 years ago, we filmed an ad here supporting her. But Janet has been a disaster for the state of Maine. She's driving up inflation, and her decisions have permanently harmed small businesses and our economy.
and she's bad for seniors and Maine families. Mills raised our electric bill, and she's pushing up home heating costs.
We need Paul LePage now.
We've got to vote for Paul LePage.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
Hello, Eastern Maine. Watch You Bet Your Life weekdays at 10 a.m. here on ABC 7.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. Saturday was practically a holiday for us sports guys in Maine, but not one of the holidays where you eat a lot of food or open some presents. It was state championship Saturday. Field hockey and soccer athletes battling for state titles. We will start in Oakland at Messalonsky with field hockey. MCI and Winthrop battling in the Class C game. First one of the day. Scoreless at half, so we pick it up in the third. A great feed here. Hannah Weaver to Ella Bernier, and she makes a move. She gets it to trickle into the cage. Huskies are up 1. Now for the Ramblers, Bella Littler coming across, and she fires. That rattles in. She ties it up at 1. That's how the game would end, so we have some free field hockey. To overtime we go. Just over 5 minutes in, the Ramblers knock it in. It's Madeline Wagner, the hero for the day. Winthrop takes the championship. They win 2-1. To the Class B game now, Lawrence and Freeport. A great fan section here from Freeport. We will start with some great passing from the Bulldogs. Ashton Stewart, she's going to take the shot, but Piper Williams is there for the save. She had a big day. She got her 100th save of the day in this one. We're going to move on, though, later now. Bulldogs on offense. It's Maddie Niles. She is going to finish it off with the backhand right there. That would be the only goal of the game. Lawrence wins their first state title ever, and the 11 seniors on the team get to go out on top.
It's definitely very emotional, especially since this was my last time playing with them, and I've been playing with them my whole life. It's definitely very sad, but just to come off with this win, it makes it a lot better.
Moving to Class A now, Skowhegan looking for their 21st ever state title. Chevrolet looking to repeat as state champs. Early on, the Riverhawks strike first. Lainey LeBlanc, she's going to get it inside here to Layla Conway, and Conway knocks in the game's first goal. Skowhegan up 1-0. Stags now, Lucy Johnson making her moves. She fires and hits the back of the cage. That ties it. This game was back and forth all day, but Skowhegan continues their reign of dominance. They win another state title. 3-2 is the final. Let's head over to some soccer now. A lot of exciting action in field hockey, but soccer, they didn't disappoint either. Class B and C state championships up north this way over at Hampton Academy on Saturday. Let's start with the Class B boys game. John Bapst and Yarmouth are going at it. Bapst, they're looking to finish the season unbeaten, and their fans are out in force. Yarmouth would strike first, though. They send it in here, and look at this jumping goal. They nail that one. That makes it 1-0 Clippers. Later, it's Jack Mason on the corner. He gets it into John Pangburn, and Pangburn finds the net. We are now tied at 1-1, but the Clippers were too much. This goal here from Stevie Walsh is going to give them the lead, and they would win the gold ball by a final score of 3-2.
I mean, it's an awesome feeling. This group of boys have worked hard all season. We all love each other. We're great. It's a bunch of great kids, and I mean, there's no group of boys I'd rather do this with, so it's just an unbelievable feeling.
To the Class B girls game now. Yarmouth at it again. They're battling Herman for the Class B gold ball. Herman up 1 here in the first. Free kick from Allie Coxon, and it's Lindsay Reed on the header. That's going to make it 2-0 Hawks. But watch this now. A 2-1 game. Ava Feely from 45 yards out gets it over Bella Bowden and into the net. That ties things up at 2. So same score. This is the second overtime period. Macy Gilroy on the corner, and Feely knocks it in with the back of her foot. That is the game winner, and the Clippers go on to sweep the Class B state championships. They complete the comeback. They win it 3-2.
It's unreal. We've been working so hard for this, and our whole team had to come together today, and we did that. Had a beautiful cross from Macy. That's her thing, and we just finished it all together. I'm so proud of them.
to Class C boys now between Fort Kent and Wayne Fleet. Flyers striking first. Nils Burton Johansson on the corner. Good D from the Warriors. Ball goes out to Jacob Woodman. He's going to make it 1-0. Flyers looking for more here, but check out this incredible save from Drew Deshane, flying high to keep his team in it. But Wayne Fleet, they were just too much on the day for the Warriors. Here is Miles Cully, one of his 5 goals in the game. Flyers, they go on to win it 6-1. And the final game at Hamden Academy was a rematch of last year's title game, Bucksport and Maranacook for the Class C title. Bucks, they would strike first. It is the freshman Addison Goss. She is in the box undetected. Fires one home, makes it a 1-0 lead early. Minutes later, the Bucks on the move again off of the corner. This ball is going to find Alex Frizzell. She gives it a nice swoop of the leg and gets this one to go. Make it a 2-0 lead for Bucksport, and the Bucks would go on to win their first ever gold ball. Final score, 2-1. All right, one more game. Class D girls. NYA battling Penobscot Valley. First half, no score. Corner kick. NYA's Angel Huntsman. She heads it home. That makes it a 1-0 Panthers lead. Minutes later, it's another corner kick for NYA. And again, it is Angel Huntsman with the header. North Yarmouth Academy rolls to yet another Class D state championship. They win 8-0. All right, closing the night with some baseball. Jeremy Pena and the Houston Astros won the World Series last night, so a former Black Bear is not only a World Series champion, but Pena became the first ever position player that is a rookie to win the World Series MVP. So, pretty impressive campaign for Jeremy Pena in just his rookie season. That's all the time we have for sports, though. We'll be right back after this.
I've got plans. We've all got them. But Bruce Poliquin's plans would put Social Security benefits at risk. He planned to raise the retirement age and cap retirees' cost of living increases. He even opposed allowing Medicare to negotiate cheaper drug prices. But Jared Golden didn't just plan. He passed legislation to cap seniors' drug costs and let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Jared Golden is the man with the right plan.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At Home Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring in Dover Foxcroft are proud members of the Flooring Network here in Maine. We have our flooring installers on staff ready for you and your custom flooring project. With over 50 years of combined experience, we'll work with you from start to finish, including demo and cleanup. Backed by the Flooring Network's state-of-the-art warehouses, we have a massive inventory to provide you with the best value and fit any flooring budget you may have. So stop in, meet our flooring experts, and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Did you know that Renewal by Andersen will replace your windows any time of the year and in any weather? Made with our exclusive Fibrix material, which is vastly superior to vinyl, never needs painting, and resists warping and bowing. We custom build your replacement windows in the USA and back them with the nation's best warranty. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free consultation. Don't miss this money-saving deal with great financing. Installation is always included. Call now.
Actor Chris Evans gets a new accolade. People magazine crowned Evans this year's sexiest man alive.
The 41-year-old is best known for his role as Captain America in the Marvel superhero movies. Evans reacted to the news by saying, "My mom will be so happy." He succeeds fellow Marvel alum Paul Rudd for the Sexiest Man Alive title.
Darn it, I missed it once again. One of these years.
Yes, there's plenty of time.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want that little title, though. I mentioned his friends really bust him quite regularly because of that.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And now Chris Evans probably loves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eat it up.
Yes.
I'm that. So. All right, let's turn it over to Devin for another look at our forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with all your fishing needs, carrying ammo, Damascus knives, gold and silver buying and selling, and a novelty room. Concealed classes are available. Call today. Alrighty, here we are. Wind advisories are in effect until 5 p.m. across the northern parts of the state. Everywhere will be windy today. And we're also watching gale warnings in effect along the coast until 7 p.m. this evening. For this shade right about in here, there's another shade located right about about in here, and now right there is also a small craft advisory in effect. So you get the general idea. The surf will be active today, courtesy of some gusty winds that'll reach up to around 40 miles per hour in a few areas. But otherwise, the radar and satellite's not looking too bad. We have a few clouds moving in for the northwest, going toward the south and east, which is trailing that cold front right now, which has now moved away and pretty much fizzled out at this point, too. We have high pressure located right about in here, so as everything moves away, things will start to calm down, especially with high pressure that'll begin to move in for the daytime tomorrow. So later on tonight and tomorrow, things will begin to calm down. Let's go on a field trip. I haven't dug these graphics out in a while. We have a subtropical storm out there. It's not fully tropical characteristics just yet, though, but that's enough that they're going to call this a Nicole, with winds up to 45 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at 8 miles per hour. With a target on Florida, though, there's hurricane warnings and hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings in effect for some of these areas, though, as this thing is planning to head toward Florida. And we may need to watch the system as well, because even though it'll be on land and pretty much become extratropical by this point, there'll still be something left over as we head towards early parts of next week. So this thing will be heading toward us, so we'll need to keep an eye on this in some capacity as we get closer. But otherwise, though, back here at home, again, we have gusty winds today reaching up to 30 to 40 miles per hour at times, especially through the early afternoon period. Gradually backing off later on this evening to the overnight period. So by tomorrow, those winds will finally begin to ease up. And those wave heights very active right now, 2 to 5 feet according to some of the buoys that are reporting. But where you see this shaded color right about in here, indicating some higher surf, so the ocean is rather active out there this morning. Our average high is 49 degrees. We'll reach for the upper 40s today, not too far away from average. We'll go for above average high temperatures for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the 50s and even 60s. Sunday and Monday, we're back down into the 40s. So moving forward for today, though, a few passing clouds, that gusty northwest wind up to 40 miles per hour. Otherwise, a decent amount of sunshine as well. And overall, we're looking pretty clear overnight tonight. So overall, things looking pretty good as we do move forward for the next few days. So your forecast for today on Election Day, upper 40s, partly cloudy and windy. That northwest wind getting up to around 40 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 20s, mostly clear, still breezy out there. That northwest wind getting up around 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, that's right near average, mostly sunny. Northwest wind backing off to about 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop. Again, today is Election Day. Make sure to get out to vote. The weather will be nice. Set aside the wind. For your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. Veterans Day on Friday will be mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Mid-60s on Saturday with a chance for rain showers.
Inflation, a broken supply chain, and high gas prices. Mainers everywhere are facing tough decisions about rising costs. Growing up as part of a small family business in Leeds, I learned what a struggling economy does to small businesses, jobs, and to working class people. And serving as a Marine in Afghanistan and Iraq taught me to stand strong for what's right in the face of adversity. I'm Jared Golden, and that's why in Congress, I'm an independent voice for you, taking on my own party to stand up for Maine families. I was the only Democrat to vote against trillions of dollars of President Biden's agenda because I knew it would make inflation worse. I helped pass new laws to rebuild our nation's infrastructure and begin to repair our broken supply chain. And I'm fighting Biden's failed energy policy, forcing him to drill more American oil to lower gas prices. I'll always be an independent fighter for you. I'm Jared Golden, and this is my family. I approve this message because when it comes to doing what's right for your family, I'll never back down.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
A Maine adventure.
We have a great selection of throws. They're soft, they're comfortable, and lots of flannel sheets. You can get comfy and cozy just like Adam is.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for shopping locally.
It's country music's biggest night.
It's a wonderful evening to sing together.
With a star-studded tribute to Alan Jackson and performances by Luke Combs, Reba McEntire, Cody Johnson, and more. Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning host the CMA Awards live Wednesday on ABC.
Looking to improve or upgrade your home or place of business? With at-home furniture, appliance, and bedding, and kitchen and bath and flooring, we offer a great selection to do just that. From homeowners to commercial businesses and everything in between, our friendly professionals with more than 50 years of combined experience experience pride themselves in going above and beyond to work with you every step of the way, and we even offer a full-service appliance repair department. Come and visit us at our Dover Foxcroft or our new Lincoln location. Stop in either location today and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Saliba's Rug Cleaners in Bangor is the best and only spot you should go to for your rug cleanings. Serving Maine for more than 70 years, we care about your rugs. Clean rugs last longer, and our family takes pride in being the professionals that you can trust. Our cleaning process consists of soaking your rug in a bath,